Hello all, hope you all are well. I'm Seema Bhattesha, associated with ASTPP Product as a resource planner. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to this very educational webinar related to ASTPP, and once again, thank you so much all of you for being here with us. This ASTPP webinar emphasizes on inbound and outbound call flow along with the basic troubleshooting. I feel most of all the members who join this webinar know regarding ASTPP, but still, here I would like to share a brief regarding ASTPP first so that it will be easy for all of you to focus more in this webinar for detailed information. I feel pleased to share that after catering to the VoIP world for more than 16 years as an open source VoIP billing solution, it got transformed into ASTPP, that is a smart telephony platform. As I said, it is a smart telephony system with integrated comprehensive billing system to drive any wholesale and retail VoIP business or independent telephony system of a company towards its ultimate growth. It is a complete telephony solution with integrated smart technology having the capabilities of all major VoIP solutions along with the most advanced VoIP billing system. So this is something regarding the ASTPP from my side. Now during the session, if you have any questions or concerns, of course you can drop us an email on astpp@googlegroups.com, and surely we will be more than happy to assist you further. Now I would like to introduce my colleague, Mr. Hamdi Badani, who is working as a community manager.
Thank you, Seema, for such a nice introduction. So, as Seema has mentioned, today we are going to cover with the ASTPP quick start, which is having including inbound, outbound call and basic troubleshooting. So, before moving to the into detail, let's understand that how call flow works and what is call flow work with the ASTPP, right? So, as you see here in this email, there is various SIP devices like are registered with the ASTPP like from tablet, laptop, phone, desktop IP phone, etc. Right. So these all the different of SIP device or extension are registered with the ASTPP. So now when any of the this extension will dial the number, so that call request come to the ASTPP first, and after that, HTTP will route the call to your provider. So this is the flow that how call will work with the HTTP. Right. Let's say one real life example. Suppose you are using the WhatsApp application and you want to call to your friend or colleague or family members, right? So what we can do is we will open the WhatsApp, then go to our contact list, and after selecting the contact, we click on the call button. So that call send the request to the server. In our case, let's assume this is the HTTP server, and that server will route the call to the destination, which is web product. So in a real life scenario, it will be something like this. Yes. Now we will start with the HTTP web portal. First of all, we will check for the outbound call flow, then after inbound call flow and the basic troubleshooting. So let me open the HTTP portal. I have logged in with the HTTP admin details. So as we all know, before starting any product or company, we need some configuration and the details, right? So first of all, after logging into HTTP portal, we have to configure our company profile. So I have already configured my default company profile. Let's see what are the details inside it. Configuration, first part. In that we have to mention the company name, company address, city, province, country, zip code, and all other required information to display on the company as well as invoice. The center part is invoice configuration. In that we have to set invoice notification, invoice due dates, notify before due date, invoice prefix, all the configuration related to invoice. In the right side, we have to do portal personalization. It is very useful. We have to set up our domain, header, footer, and the logo of the company, favicon icon. It will be display. It will be display whenever our entire details are configured and when we log in with these company details. Right. So this is the how company profile work and its configuration. Now, as we all know that after company profile, different country is having different taxes, right? So for that we have also option to configure various taxes from here. So you can configure various taxes as per different country rates and amount from here. Right now I'm keeping it as a blank. Then the important thing is settings. The first one is the global setting. From here we can define our entire system global configuration, like we can set our base currency, number of decimal points, password. In that we have also two options, strong and moderate. Then these are the other few parameters which you can define. Each and every field is having tooltip. Then the second thing is calls. In the call, first part is calling card, which is used for calling card related configuration. The second part is for general. In that you can define various audio notification, voicemail number, balance announcement, etc. So you can configure according to your needs. The third one is important part is notification. It is very important, right, to get the notification. In HTTP we have email notification configuration and SMS notification. So we can configure it from here. There are some other additional settings that you can configure according to your needs. Right. Now let's start. Let's see that what are the basic needs to start with the configuration. So as I saw here, first we will cover outbound call. So let's start with that configuration part. So we need to first of all buy or purchase the minute from some provider. After purchasing those minutes, we have to configure it into our system, right? So we will first of all have to create the one provider. So we have to go to the account customer here and click on the provider. Let's say we have give the name telco provider @gmail.com and give the first name telco provider, and here we just save. So now we have configured our telco provider. Then we will go to the carrier gateway. So first of all we will configure our gateway. So in the gateway we can create multiple gateway. First of all we have to give the name of the gateway. Let's give telco gateway. Then we have to use these two fields, username and password, if our provider is allowing SIP based authentication. Otherwise we have to just specify here proxy here, as I am mentioning my proxy here. So and the important thing is register true and false. If we specify username and password, then we have to select here true, else we can select false. So right now I haven't mentioned any username and password, so skipping it as a false. Then on the right side there are optional information from domain, from user, realm, etc., that you can configure according to your needs. And if you need more info, then you can visit our free switch website and you will get entire detail of these parameters. So now we have successfully created our gateway. After creating the gateway we have to configure the trunk. But before configure trunk, I would like to say what is the trunk. Trunk is the bridge between gateway, provider, the customer. So first now we will create the trunk. Now here we have to select the provider. So we have already created our one provider, telco provider. After that we have to select the gateway name from here. So let's select telco gateway 1. Then after we have to configure failover gateway. Failover gateway is used to route or call when this main gateway is not able to route our calls, right? So here you have to select the gateway carefully, because if you select any other gateway which is not belongs to this provider, then it may be charged some extra amount. You have to select the same provider but the gateway is different here, so it will be work accordingly. The next thing is concurrent call and the CPS. The difference between concurrent call and CPS is your provider concurrent call, how many calls are supported at the same time, which can be given by your provider with the limit, let's say 100. So it means it will support 100 concurrent call in your this trunk. And the CPS, let's say 10, so it will support 10 call per second in using this trunk and the provider. Let's blank it as of now. On the right side, codecs. Codec is very important part. We can define here various codec by giving priorities like PCMA, PCMU. So whenever any calls happen, it will first try to match the codec with this PCMA, then PCMA, and so on. And if your provider is not having any limitation or not having any special codec allow, then you can skip it as a blank. Then call timeout, priority. We can also set the priority of the trunk and the status active inactive. Let's save with this gateway detail and trunk detail here. Then we have to configure the rates which we have get from our provider. In that we have multiple options to upload our rates. First one is import with the field map. Second one is the import, and the third one is create. From create we can add multiple get rates by manually. First of all we have to select our trunk, then we have to give codec code prefix 9198, then we have to give the destination India, Gujarat, Airtel, strip and prepend. Let's say strip here, I'm mentioning 00, and here in I'm mentioning plus. It means when we dial the number with 00 digit, the system will automatically cut those 00 digit and prepend this plus before send to the provider or end side, right? So this is the use of strip and prepend. Then on the right side, billing information, connection cost. Connection cost is the cost when our call is connect to the end party. It will charge flat rate. Let's say suppose we are mentioning here 0.5 USD. Means when our call is connected or established, at that time it will first of all charge 0.5. Grace time. Grace time is the free second, we can say. So let's say 10 second, then up to 10 second it will not charge anything to our provider. Then cost per minute, it means how much cost we have to take or charge or our provider. Then initial increment and the increment. The difference between increment and initial increment is your first block, and the increment is your normal call increment block. Let's say you here you have mentioned 30 second and here we specify 1. It means our first call block will charge up to 30 seconds, same amount which we have specified here, and after that it will charge based on per second. That we can skip it as a blank because it's not required field. You can configure that in central part which we will cover in core session. So I am skipping it as a blank right now. Then we have to configure our priority also. it is also an optional. Now we have correctly configured the provider part. Now we have to configure red plan. In other system it called as the red plan, red group, but in ASTPP we are saying it as a red group. Here from first field we have to select the reseller, but right now I am creating my red group under the admin, so selecting the admin by default. Let's say, let me give the my name silver. This is my red group name. Then routing prefix. Routing prefix means, let's say your customer is using silver red plan for entire call, but as an admin or as an valuable customer, you have to give them some special minutes or special HD quality voice for particular destination. Let's say, then you can ask your customer to dial the prefix before their destination number. So in that case, instead of using silver red group, the customer is able to dial using platinum red group. So that is the difference between routing prefix. Then on the right side, billing information, markup. Markup is having multiple use cases. Suppose when you are importing the termination rate, that same rate sheet you would like to import in the origination rate, and you want some special or specific margin from your rate, let's say 10%. So what this will do is, it will trade charge 10% of the termination rate. As you know, we have configured 0.5 USD in our termination rate. So it will apply additional 10, and your customer has, when your customer is dial, they have to pay 0.55, which is and so 0.05 is the profit, or we can say margin of admin and the provider between. The other another use case, let's assume you have to give some hidden charges on each and every call for your customer, let's say 2%. So it will charge additional 2% of cost based on each and every call. So that is the another use case of the markup. The next one is initial increment and the increment. It is same as termination rate, but here if we configure it here, it will global configure. We haven't have to configure on each and every single rates. Okay, so let's say here we configure one, and here also we configure one. It means it will charge us according to per second. Then routing type, we have multiple routing strategies in ASTPP. First one we have already seen, routing prefix. The another is LCR, which means least cost routing. When we use this routing strategy, it will going to match maximum prefix in from the termination rate and route our call accordingly. The second one is cost based routing. In the cost based routing, it will going to check cheapest cost from the rates, and based on that it will route our call to the termination or provider. The third one is priority. We can also use the priority based routing. In that we can able to select multiple trunks with different priorities. Let's say on the trunk 1 I have selected telco trunk 1, on the trunk 2 I have selected the telco trunk, and the trunk 3 your trunk. So whenever any calls come using this red group, it will first of all route or call to this trunk. If it's not success, then it will try with this trunk, and later on this trunk. Now let's continue with the LCR based routing strategy as of now. Now we have successfully configured the LCR routing with the silver name. Now we have to configure origination rate, which is associated with the red group. So from here we have to select the red group which we have created. So I am selecting here silver. Then we have to specify the code. Let's say 9198. Here we can also define the destination, India, Gujarat, Airtel. Then we can, these are the optional field which we can select according to our need. Country, call type. The call type is useful when you have to define different code types in the system. When you are using the red text in the HTTP, that time it will be very useful. Then routing type. Here we have also choice whether priority based route or percentage wise, which we have same seen in the red group. But the difference is here we can configure it for each and every individual rates. So if suppose if we have to suppose specify individually, then we can configure it from here. Otherwise, keep it as a blank. Force trunk. If we have to select some specific force trunk for the particular code or the destination, then at that time we can able to use this option. Let's say I am selecting telco trunk, but my red group is having only one trunk, which is telco trunk 1. So in that case it will going to use this telco trunk instead of your trunk. Then on the right side, billing information, connection cost, grace time, cost per minute, initial increment, and the increment. So it is same which you have already discussed in the termination rate. But here I would like to highlight one point which is very essential in the red group. As you see, we haven't select any trunk, right? So this is the major problem many time users are facing after configuring entire STP system. They are not able to make the call and facing some issue. So we have to select the trunk carefully from here. Even we can select multiple trunk or deselect also. Right now I am selecting only one trunk. So now we have successfully also selected the trunk also. Now we have to move to the customer creation part. Again we move to the customer. Before creating the customer, I would like to say the difference between customer and the provider, because in initial starting of my session I have created provider and just moved to the configuration part. So the difference between customer and the provider, the customer can able to make the calls only, and the provider can able to route the call as well as they can able to incoming call and the outgoing. It will give the bridge between one provider to another side. So that is the major difference. But in the customer part we have also multiple options like import customer. Suppose you are migrating your entire system from some another um, telco solution, then you can use this import customer option. The second option is mass create. In the mass create, left side we have number of account. We have to give the number of account, let's say 10. It means it will create 10 number of account. Then we have to give the starting prefix of account, let's say 999. It means it will start our account number prefix with 999 and the number of length for each account 10. It will create 10 digit of account number with the prefix 999. Then these are the optional features which we can configure according to our needs, that we will going to discuss in detail at the time of customer creation. Create customer. So inside the create customer, we have here account number in default auto generated password. Even we can also set the password. Let's say test at the rate 123. Then pin is also generated and it will be useful for calling card purpose. Then let's give the name customer test at gmail.com. Then concurrent calls and CPS. The meaning of concurrent call and CPS terminology is same which we have discussed in the trunk, but the difference is here we can define individual at customer level, because the provider limit definitely will be greater and higher instead of customer, right? So we can give each customer with different limits. Localization. For the localization we have already one very good video uploaded recently over YouTube, so you can refer it and get the idea how it exactly work in the detail. Allow local calls. Allow local calls, yes and no. Yes, it means it will allow you to do the SIP to SIP call or the local calls, you can say. If you select here no, then it will not going to allow local calls. Right now I am selecting the yes. Notification. In that we have again yes and no options. If we select yes, it will send us the notification, otherwise it will not send the notification. Payment gateway permission. Here we have also option yes and no. If we select no, then the customer login, it will not display the payment option. And if we select yes, then and only it will display the payment option. On the center part, profile, let's give the name customer and the last name test. You can give the company name, phone number, notification email. It is very useful field which we can say. Suppose you have 4 5 accounts in the ASTPP, but each and every account is having different email. But as a single customer, you require each email notification on same email instead of different customer email ID. Then you can define the notification email here with the all 4 5 your customer. You will receive all your notification on same email ID. Let's say notification at gmail. Then these are the optional field: address, city, zip code, country, which you can select according to customer area. On the right side, billing settings, account type. First option is, in that we have two options: prepaid and the postpaid. Prepaid is having to refill account before they can purchase or make any calls. In postpaid, we have to give the credit limit. It's at 100, so they can use the product or the call limit up to 100 USD. Let's keep let's take the prepaid right now. Then red group. As you know, we have already covered created the silver red group, so we have to select it here carefully. Then non CLI red group and the CLI pool. For this is the very interesting tool or feature which we can say in the enterprise edition, and that for that we have also uploaded one individual video over YouTube, so you can refer it. The next thing is monthly billing schedule. In that we have two options: daily and monthly. If we select daily, it will bill daily, but it will be useful when we have account type postpaid. And if we select monthly, then it gives us to select the billing day. Let's say I'm selecting 7. It means it will generate the invoice on every month 7th day. So by that way, billing schedule will work. Then we can give the text number, generate invoice, yes, no. If we select no, it will not generate the invoice. And the invoice note and reference. Invoice note is useful when we have to specify some special note for some individual customer. Let's skip it as a blank and save our customer. So now we have covered, or we can say configure almost the configuration which required to make simple outbound call. So now we are going to register our device. So for that you can use any of the SIP client or SIP phone like HTTP Choke phone and Swiper, Limphone, etc. Right now I am going to use Swiper. I think I have entered wrong password. Yes, we have registered. Before making any kind of call, I would like to open the call logs before going to anything in detail. And I would also like to show our registered SIP device and the gateway from ASTPP UI portal. So in ASTPP we have already very one good add-on, which is switch monitoring add-on. I have already installed in my system. Let me open register SIP device and the register gateway from where we can see the gateway and the SIP device. See, here it displays all the gateway which we have configured, and from here we can able to see the register SIP devices. Now we are ready to make the calls. I'm going to dial number 9198 as we have configured this prefix. See, our call is not successfully, right? So we will check what is the issue, as it's here display here doesn't have sufficient font. We will also check in the CDR reports. No sufficient fund, which means our customer is not having sufficient fund to make any kind of calls. So we forgot to do the refill. So this kind of incidents will happen many times. So we have to be careful for the prepaid customer to give the some refill, or they can also refill from the customer login. I'm giving $10 credit refill. Now we have successfully given the balance also to our customer, and we'll try again to make the call. Our call is successfully established. For that, we can also able to monitor it from here. Live call graph. As you see, it display call count 1. So from here we can also monitor, as well as we can also show the live calls. From the live calls, we have multiple options: hang up, call date, origination, destination, termination details, and we can also see the codecs. So these are the various information we can monitor from here. I'm going to hang up my call. So we have successfully done one or outbound call. Now it's time to check what is the cost and how much it display in the CDR report. So this is our latest entry for the call. As you know, it destination is India Gujarat Airtel. Amount is 0.85 and 0.4250. Here it gives telco trunk one and our red group, of course, silver one. This is how outbound call flow will work. We have covered this thing right now. Account creation, balance, red group, gateway, rates import, and routing configuration. So we have successfully covered our all outbound call flow. Now I would like to move further into inbound call section, which is inbound call. Now, what we need for inbound call? First of all, we need the deed. What is deed? Deed is a virtual number. So from here we can either import multiple deeds from the deed which we get from our provider, and if we have to create the single deeds, then we can use this option, create deed. In that we have to select the deed product category. So we have to create the deed right now. So I am selecting the deed only. Then we have to give the deed number. Say 1800012112. Then we have to select our deed provider which we have configured. So right now I am selecting the telco provider, and country. These are the optional parameter which we can configure or keep it as a blank. City provision. On the right side, product detail, connection cost, grace time, cost per minute, initial increment. These are the field which is same we have covered in the termination rate as well as origination rate. The difference here, another fields are setup fee. Setup fee means it's one time charge which customer had to pay for the setup digit. Let's say one. So it will charge only one USD for the first time when customer buy this deed. Monthly fee. It will charge based on every month, which is the amount we are specifying here. Then call time out and billing type. In the billing type, we have three options: one time, recurring, and the recurring monthly. One time means, let's say I am giving 365. It means it will you activate up to 365 days for customer who is purchasing the deed. Let's say we select the recurring. It means, suppose we are specifying 50 here, then it will recurringly charge on every 15 days. After 15 days, then recurring monthly. Recurring monthly will charge on the basis of every month. As you, if you monitor, the days field is hide when I select these recurring monthly. So that is the difference between recurring and recurring monthly. Right now I am selecting the one time with the 30 and the concurrent call, which is same as the termination rate. So we have given all the details here. Now going to save my deed. So we have successfully created the deed. Now it's important, after creating the deed, the customer should have to purchase the deed. For that we have multiple options. First option is, we as an admin we can assign the deed from clicking on the assign, and here the another option I will show, which is from customer edit. From customer edit we can also purchase the deed, and the third option is we can also purchase the deed from the customer login. Right now I am assigning the deed from here. We have successfully assigned the deed. Now after successfully assign the deed, we have to route it at some particular destination. So that, for that we can select here, click on the forwarding, and we can define various call type for the deed, and we have also options for deed forwarding. Let's see what are the various option or call type inside the deed call type. Deed local, deed at that IP or URL, direct IP, other, PSTN, and zip deed. Let's understand what are the difference between these all call types. For that we have also very good document I would like to show here. Deed local. Deed local means if customer want to dial on some particular registered SIP device, then they can select the deed local. This will route our call to our local extension inside the ASTPP. The second one is deed at the IP or URL. If you want to route the call on some another PBX system, then you can use the deed at the IP URL. Direct IP. Direct IP is useful when you want to route your call on some specific deed or the extension number which is registered on other PBX system, other call type. If you are familiar with the free switch and its command, then at that time you can also use deed call type as the other, and you can define the syntax like this. So it means it will route our deed to this gateway and this number. ESTN. ESTN call type is used to route our call to some particular ESTN number. The last one is SIP deed. If we have to route our call to some specific PBX or asterisk server, and for that it will use the caller ID in the header part. The difference between caller SIP date and the date local only, if we select the SIP date, it will use the caller ID in the header part, and in the date local it will go directly to the same local SIP extension. Now let's configure here PSTN call type for testing. Then we also check some another call types also. 9198542567 8. Then deed forward. In the deed forward we have again four options: always, if busy, if not registered, if no answer. Always mean, suppose we are specifying here deed local and the extension number like 5674, like this. So it will always route our call to this deed extension which is in the inside the system. So when customer is dialing this number, it will route to that number. Now let's say if busy, when the customer is dialing the deed and getting busy, and if we have specify here some extension or the other call type, then it will route our call to that destination. Next one is if not registered. So here we can also specify our destination according to various call type, and our deed will be routed to that destination if this device is not registered. The next one is if no answer. Suppose this destination is not answering, and at that time we have to forward our deed to some specific location. In that case, we can use if no answer. Right now, I am keeping it a blank, and we are going to save with PSTN and this number. So we have successfully configured deed for this account and also route deed for PSTN call type. Now it's time to check how it works and whether it works or not. Again, I will open my soft phone and dial this my deed number 212. Now call is established successfully. See, displaying here. Now let's see what are the CDR details it display for the deed call. So as you if you see here, there is two entry for the same duration, 21 seconds, right? So one is for the inbound and one is for the outbound. So this is the call type which we have used PSTN, so which is we can also call as a standard here. Now let's check some another call type from the deed. Let me change. Let's use deed local and some SIP extension like 123455431. We haven't such extension right now, so before that we will create one extension. From SIP device we can add multiple n number of SIP extension 54321. Now I'm going to dial my data again from the history.
The person at extension 180001212 is not available. Record your message at the tone.
It's
Press
playing
any key or
pre-recorded
stop talking
voicemail
to end the
file.
recording.
The person is not available. You can leave the voicemail. As you know that I haven't registered my SIP extension. I have just created only here, right? So it's going to voicemail right now. I'm recording my voicemail. hello, hello, and I can hang up the call with the
Message saved. To mark this message urgent, press star. To continue, press pound. Message saved.
my message is successfully stored and I have hung up the call. Let's see the CDR entry again. It will be changed instead of PSTN for C. Here it display inbound, outbound, but the deed call type is the deed because we haven't used the PSTN here, right? So that is the difference. So we have covered the deed call types also. Now, before moving to further, I would like to show some other troubleshootings. We have already covered few for troubleshooting during my session. So first thing I would like to show, I'm dialing the one number like this, any random digit. So my call is not successful. Let's see what is the reason behind that. Origination rate not found. It means I don't have any kind of origination rate to make a call with this prefix 919999. So that can be one problem. So we have to carefully configure our each and every rates. The second thing I would like to show, sometime it happen that trunk or the gateway is not reachable or it can be inactive. Let's take the inactive and make the call and see if it works or not. Again, it's not work and it's showing some error. Let's check in the CDR part. It's saying termination rate not found because the gateway is associated with the trunk and trunk is associated with the termination rate. So that is the entire channel or chain we can say. So that kind of thing we have to also check. The next one is, as I mentioned during the session, the origination rate cost should be higher than the termination rate. Now let's change the cost of my rate here like 0.2. Dial the same number. Again, call is not success. Termination rate not found. Now let's change the rate again with same and try out whether call is working or not. See, again it start working. So these are the basic troubleshooting. One more thing I would like to show. Let's say, as you know, I have one USD origination rate. Let's reduce the balance here for testing purpose. 6 and applying post charge. Right now I have only 0.48 balance remained. Let's dial the number again and check user temporarily unavailable and let's check the report. No sufficient fund. So that kind of basic troubleshooting you can monitor from the customer report and compare it with your customer origination rate, termination rate, trunk and rate group. So this is the basic thing that you can monitor and troubleshoot without taking someone's help. And I have covered inbound part also with the troubleshooting. Now I would like to give a handover to Miss Sima. But before giving him handover, I would like to say thank you very much for listening and giving me the opportunity to present this webinar in front of you. Hand over to Miss Sima.
Okay, thank you, Handip, for a nice explanation. I hope all the members enjoyed the session. And of course, we are having few questions also, Handip, so that you need to answer all that questions. We will try our best to cover all major questions which is raised by the members. So, Handip, are you start for the question answer session?
Yes, sure.
Okay, fine. So, Hardeep, we are having list of questions, and I'll start with the first question that we are having. First question is, can I use different providers for VoIP minutes and deed?
Yes, we can configure different VoIP provider for VoIP minutes as well as did according to our needs and what we have purchased with different provider. There is no any limitation.
Okay, fine. So, I hope this answer will help you to resolve your query. Now, we are having next question. That is, what if my provider is support only specific codec like PCMA and PCMU?
Okay. In that case, if you have remember during the gateway explanation, I have configured what some of the codecs, right? So you can configure it from there. So in that case, when code goes out from our system, it will trying to check those codecs only. According to that, you can also specify different codecs with the different priority with the comma separated. And if your provider is not having any kind of limitation, then you can use or keep it as a blank.
Okay, fine. Next question is, what is the difference between recurring and monthly recurring indeed?
Okay, the difference is very minor between that two things. In the recurring monthly, it will charge on every month, but in the recurring, it will charge on some specified days. Let's say in the recurring you have specified 10, which means it will charge on every 10th after every 10th day.
Okay, fine. Question is, what is the use of PIN in customer?
Sorry, can you please repeat?
What is the use of PIN, PIN, in customer?
Okay, okay. The PIN is useful when we have to do the calling card. And I would like to say that in future we are going to take separate webinar for calling card. I would not like to say for more details because it will be excitement for future session also.
Okay, fine. Next question is from Thomas, and question is there any tutorial on percentage based routing?
No, we do not have tutorial right now for percentage based routing, but in future we will do it.
Okay, fine. Now, next question is, any way to strip or prepend digits for the received calls?
Yes, you can use the localization feature that you can configure, and for that we have already very good document as well as the detailed explanation video all already in YouTube channel. You can visit. Let me show here just quickly for the reference. Even though you can also configure it from the settings for the did localization. All here is the did localization and the configuring the localization. You have to go to the switch and the localization. Actually, that video is not uploaded yet, but we are going to upload very soon. See here. From here, you can do that one on the left side origination part, right side termination, and then another useful option is destination based caller ID that we can set if we require.
Okay, fine. Handip, now we are having another questions, and one question is from Martins. That is, what is the difference between concurrent calls and CPS?
Okay, the where it is exactly? You mean on the trunk or the customer? Okay, I will like to say the difference between CC and CPS. CPS means call per second, that how much calls are supported by your provider, and the CC means concurrent call, that how much concurrent call are supported by your provider. That you can define inside the trunk, as well as if we have to set some specific CC and CPS on each and every customer, then we can use also inside the customer from the admin side.
Okay, fine. Now, next question is there API access to extract billing or invoice for external accounting?
No, right now there is no any API for such thing. We have only one API for the balance check.
Okay, fine. Next question is, what if you have more than 1,000 origination or termination rates that you want to add? I am thinking that one should import them to the ASTPP. What is the correct format that the system accepts?
Okay, let I would like to show it here right now. Let me open the termination rate first. Let's assume your provider is giving you 10,000 or more number of termination, right? So in that, either you can use the import with the field map option, which is very good, or you can import with the import. And HTTP is support only CSV format with these are the details, or you can import it accordingly. And the same thing you can do in origination rate. It will definitely work and import successfully.
Okay. Next question is, do customers can able to see their call details?
Yes, they can do check the customer call details from customer login. Let me show you, which we have done few call right now in our session, right? I would like to log in into customer panel, and from here we can see the CDRS for each and every call. See,
Okay. Next question is, are there any limitations in terms of number to creating customers and providers?
no, there is no limitation. You can create n number of customer or provider in our system. Just the limitation we have to use our entire system, or we can say network and everything according to our needs and business.
Okay. Next question is, why do we have CC and CPS in customers and in trunks?
uh, I think I have covered that same thing which when you have asked me for the difference between CC and CPS. So the only difference that in customer you can define individually customer level, and the if you define in the trunk, then it's the central, or we can say global level.
Okay, fine. Still, we are having so many questions, but due to time constraint, we are not able to give all the answers right now. So definitely, we will getting back to you as per your email ID mentioned. And of course, you can share such feedbacks. And if you are still having any questions or concerns, you can email us on contact@astppbilling.org. I'm again repeating the email address. You just note it down if you have any questions. Just write it down. It's contact@astppbilling.org. So definitely our team will be more than happy to assist you further. And once again, thank you so much all of you for your time. And I hope this session will be having lots of information and it will surely help you as well. So Handip, is there anything from your end now?
No, I just like to say thank you very much.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much guys once again and just take care of yourself.